Increase your truck's visibility out on the road or trail with the Putco Blade LED tailgate light bar. Featuring two 18-inch light bars that plug and play with your 2019 and newer Ram 1500, this setup will give your truck a distinct look and make it more visible in all conditions. It may not look like a whole lot here on the table, but I think Putco may have designed one of the best integrated light bars I've yet to see on any truck. The Blade features these two 18-inch LED strips designed to fit perfectly in the valley below the bottom of your tailgate. So when they aren't lit up, you'd be hard-pressed to even notice that they're installed. However, turn the lights on, hit the signals, depress the brakes, or put it in reverse, and you can be sure that nobody will miss these. The LEDs inside light up two different colors at several different brightness levels, so these will function as supplemental running lights and brake lights, lighting up in red when you switch on your lights or hit the brakes. They'll also function as turn signal repeaters, so if you signal or switch on your hazard lights, the LEDs inside will light up in a sequential pattern from the center out to give you a better chance of being seen. And when you put the truck in reverse, they switch to a bright 6000K temperature white light, so you'll be able to see a bit better when reversing and nobody will be able to miss your truck no matter how dark it is. This all works seamlessly by way of an integrated 4-pin harness that plugs right into your truck's trailer wiring on the back bumper. It makes for a really simple installation, and Putco has integrated the proper types of resistors and electronics inside, so you don't have to do any wiring and you won't get any error messages on your dashboard. Each bar is made with an ABS plastic housing on the back and tinted polycarbonate for the lenses, just like you'd find on pretty much any automotive light. Each one is also waterproof to protect the electronics, and inside you'll find chip-on-board high-powered LEDs that are the source of that bright output. And they're connected using 16-gauge wiring and that 4-pin connector, with everything pretty much done for you. So this is a really solidly put together bit of kit. Now, of course, as usual, convenience will come in at a price. In this case, this kit's gonna run you about $350. That does position it as a more premium option in the segment. But if you value the look, the safety, and the additional function that extra lights like this can have, it's well worth the cost of entry, especially because it's so easy to get it installed. Now, I know I've been harping on this throughout the video, so let's cut to the chase. Installation gets a 1 out of 3 on our difficulty meter, and the job should take you less than 1 hour to complete. Now, the lights themselves are ready to go pretty much right out of the box. Everything is already wired up, so again, all you've really got to do is plug this into your trailer wiring. And there are 3M double-sided tape pieces that you can put on the back here. Putco also includes little brackets if you want to hard mount them and drill them into your truck, but you don't have to do that. Now, if you don't want to plug them in using the trailer plug, if you want to hardwire them in, Putco does have the provisions to do that as well, and they include some Scotch-Lock connectors in the kit, so you can do that. But for the most part, this is really simple, and it's about as easy or as complicated as you want to make it. I definitely recommend going the plug and play route just because it makes it so easy, and this is then completely reversible. We're going to walk you through that install process right now though, so for that, let's head on out to the shop.
For this install, you will need an impact, T25 Torx bit, needle nose pliers, wire strippers and crimpers, and not shown here, but for how we connected ours, some zip ties, a male spade connector, and a T-tap. What's up, folks? Today we're going to be doing a tailgate light on our Ram, so let's get started. All right, guys, so we've got our assembly for our lights here in our lab, and it comes all in one piece. Now, your lights are disconnectable, and to make things a little bit easier, because we're going to have to go behind the bumper and get some stuff situated and tucked in, we're going to disconnect our lights. It's just going to make life a lot easier for hooking them up and getting them in place. So you just want to unscrew this connector and pop that out for now. Lay that right down. And we can do the same thing for our other light as well. Then the rest of our harness, we're going to have to go, like I said, behind the bumper and tuck some stuff in and get our connector out to our 4-pin plug. That's what we're going to use to power our lights. So we'll get under there and get started on that. Alright guys, so now we're underneath the truck in the center of the bumper. As you can see, we've got our hitch receiver right here. And the first thing we're going to do is take our 4-pin plug, run that up behind the bumper, and we'll get that to tuck to the front. Now you may have to reach up while you're doing this out front and get that around. I want to give that enough slack so it can plug in. We'll pull the rest of it back once we get everything hooked up. We're getting everything in position right now. And once we have that around, gonna have to grab some zip ties or whatever you want to use to secure the excess harness. So we're gonna have to secure our box up and out of the way. There is a nice little spot right up in here right behind the center of the bumper. We're gonna use some zip ties to get that in place, and then we can send our connectors for our lights through just like we did with our 4-pin connector. So we'll grab some zip ties and get this secured up and out of the way. Get our control box situated. It's tucked back up in here. Really, you have an option to put it wherever you want, just as long as it's not hanging down and out of the way. You also want to have it somewhere where it is accessible in case you need to remove it at any point. So now that we have our 4-pin connector through to the front of our bumper, we're going to secure our box up and out of the way with a couple zip ties. Now you really have the freedom to kind of put it wherever you want back here, just as long as it's up and out of the way. We're going to secure ours to this existing harness over here. Just a nice easy spot to get to. And we're using some zip ties, which do not come with your kit, but you will need some or some sort of preferred item for securing. And then we'll get the other zip tie in. This part can be a little bit tricky. Next, we're going to grab those connectors we removed from our lights and get those up and through to the other side of our bumper. And you may have to grab them just to pull them through. It doesn't really matter where they are at the moment, just as long as they're onto the other side of the bumper. Now, if you wish to have this function with your reverse lights, we're going to tap into our factory tail lights. So we're going to send this white wire up into our driver's side area for our tail light. Send that through this frame hole just to help keep things tucked and out of the way. Pull that through. And that's going to go up into our taillight area, which we'll have to remove our taillight to get to. Now we're back out to the outside of our bumper and we're going to reconnect our lights. We're going to grab those connectors we sent through, line those back up, screw that connector back in. Sure that tightens all the way down. And then we're going to install these using the provided 3M adhesive on the back. So we'll remove the cover for that adhesive. We'll do that for both the strips that are on each light. Once we have those removed, we can get our light in place. Tuck that excess wiring back. And for each of these lights, we're pretty much going to line them up with the footwell on our bumper on each side. That's going to go on the flat part. Now there is an indent on the outer edge of this little trim piece, so you have to come in for that. So you're more going to be towards the center tailgate with this side. Tuck that excess wiring back out of the way. Give a firm press on that adhesive. Then we'll do the same thing for our other light. So now we're going to plug in our 4-pin receiver. So we're going to open up our 4-pin access. Get that plugged right in. Now this only goes one way, so you can't really get it wrong. Some of these are pretty tight, especially if you've never used them. Make sure that's secure. You can tuck that in. Now one thing to note is if you don't want this to be kind of open and showing all the time, you could cut the 4-pin plug off of your harness side and wire it into the back side of your receiver wiring. However, that's going to be some additional work, and we're just going to go with the 4-pin receiver. Works just as well. So now we're up here to our tailgate area, and we're going to remove our driver's side tail light so we can tap in that reverse light. So we've got a T25 Torx bit. We're going to remove the 2 mounting screws for our tail light. Make sure not to drop these. We can pull our tail light out. Then we're going to be tapping into our reverse light. All right, so now that we've got our tail light out, we can fish that white wire up through into our tail light area. Got it in our hand. Make sure it doesn't get caught on anything. Now we are gonna have to cut the connector off that comes already on it. We've got some needle nose pliers with angle cutters. Snip that right off. Then we're gonna strip off some of our sheathing so we can add in our male spade connector. Strip that off. Give our wiring a little twist just to not have any stragglers. Then we're going to add in a male spade connector, which does not come with your kit, but it is an easy way to accomplish our goal. We'll slide that on. Grab our crimpers. Give this connector a nice solid crimp. I always like to give a light tug on the wire and the connector afterwards, just to make sure that connection's secure. Now that we've got that on our taillight side, we're gonna add in a T-tap where that male spade connector is gonna plug into. So our middle light is going to be our reverse light. So we're just gonna go right off of the connector for the bulb itself. We're gonna come to this green wire, get that T-tap on there, get that wire into that metal saddle. We'll hold that around. What I like to do is take some needle nose pliers and gently squeeze this until it clicks into place. That's just gonna secure it nice. Like I said, we're not applying a lot of pressure, just enough to get it through that sheathing. We're gonna plug this in to that T-tap. We can tuck that back in. Get our tail light right back in place. Then we'll reinstall our two T25 screws. So we'll get these back in place. It's always a good idea to start these back in by hand. Just make sure you don't drop them, especially this top one, it's a little tricky to get to. Get those going. We'll grab our T25 Torx bit. Put those back into place. Alrighty folks, that about wraps up our review and install of our 18-inch Putco Blade LED tailgate light bar for your 19 to current Ram 1500. Thanks for watching, and as always, for everything Ram, keep it right here at AmericanTrucks.com.